What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends. And today we're going to be talking about the clan boss. More specifically, we're going to be talking about frustrations with building a clan boss team, circling mainly around the RNG in this game. This is going to be this week's episode of building the Bateater comp that we've been working on with the speed lead Unkillable. We did miss last week's episode. That was somewhat intentional because we're entering a point now where progression is getting very slow with this clan boss build, and it's just a matter of needing so many different things, not having anything actually come to fruition over the last 2 weeks. And also, I was trying to finish normal Doom Tower, which I have a video on that. I'll link down below if you guys want to check that out. And we also did have the Astrolon Fusion, the new legendary champion, and I was basically working on that all weekend. I was able to complete it. I'm going to show him to you here if I can find him. Here he is. So you can see here, I've just kind of leveled him up a little bit. I don't have any gear on him at all. Really cool looking champion, and his animations are pretty cool as well. So we'll be working on him, trying to get him to a point where we can use him in the game at some point here. But let's go ahead and talk about, excuse me guys, man, my voice is awful this week. Sinuses and the weather just being terrible. Let's go ahead and jump back out here. First off, we have been making some improvements to the Great Hall. You can see we did get our accuracy up to 9 out of 10. This is mainly for the Arbiter missions. I had actually saved up almost 1,000 medals for the 10 out of 10, but I'm about a week out from needing to do that mission, so I went ahead and I think we brought our magic attack and crit damage up, and our spirit attack and crit damage up both to 5 out of 10 this evening. So I spent those medals. I'm still trying to focus on these to get these up for the clan boss to help us out with our damage, because that's kind of where we're getting stuck right now. Let's go in here, we'll take a look at our clan boss champs and talk about that a little bit. Now, like I said, progression has slowed down quite a bit, and it's mainly due to gear not dropping. Over the last 2 weeks, I've probably farmed the spider dungeon on average at least 50 to 75 times a night. I have 100 auto battles with the raid card, and I've been using a lot of those, at least 50 a time on the spiders dungeon. And I'm trying to find some 6-star crit damage necklaces. I need some attack banners for some of these characters, and it's just been very frustrating trying to get those, because absolutely nothing will drop for me. I have not had one usable gear piece drop like in the last 2 weeks almost. So we've got our fast Maneater here, who is still stuck in this accuracy chest. I've been talking about this for about a month now. I cannot get him an attack percent chest to drop from the dragon, although I do believe I've found a solution for that. We're going to go ahead and look at what we have equipped, and I did find an attack chest on my frozen Banshee here, but I'm not really using that much anymore. So I think if we look at this, there's a speed difference of 3. So of course, given the nature of this game, I spent the last 2 days farming faction wars, doing my 12 initial keys and then my 6 extra keys from doing 3v3, and I did not get one speed glyph to drop. So the whole plan was to try to glyph this up to match the 16 speed, rather than try to add another piece somewhere to make up for that. And of course, we didn't get a speed glyph. So the plan right now is to get a speed glyph to get that up to 16 or faster, because we can actually go over however much we need to with this Maneater. He could be as fast as we want. And then roll this out to the maximum of 16, which will give us 50% attack. Which, if we throw that on him, you can see just from the 33%, that'll take him up to another 276. So that's kind of what we're shooting for with that there. And I think he's still okay. He does have an attack banner, but we're trying to find a 5 or a 6 star to replace that with. You can see we haven't had anything. And you can see here how much gear I have, 733. That's probably the most I've ever had on this account, just from farming dragon for the last 2 weeks and pretty much getting nothing. It's been very frustrating. That's why, like I said, one of the reasons I wanted to do this series was to kind of show you guys the amount of work it's going to take to build a clan boss team, especially if you're a free-to-play player, if you're a lower end, if you're on the mid game, just early game. You see these clan boss videos, they go and they build this amazing clan boss team in 20 minutes. Well, that's unfortunately not the reality for most of us. Most of those accounts you see that are being taken over for that, or those are being performed on, they've got an in-game level Great Hall, they've got a stash of amazing in-game gear that's already rolled, and they can usually just go in and switch everything out. They've got millions of silver to do it with. For most of us, that's just simply not the reality. So hopefully this series is giving you guys an idea of how long it kind of takes to get something like this going. You know, just so you can kind of have a little bit of insight into that. So our other Maneater here, we are still looking for a crit damage neck piece for him, and also an attack banner. So you can see there we're still lacking on quite a few pieces here. And then just on the gear in general, we need to try to find some pieces with a little bit more crit damage statistics. But you know, so far we're doing okay. Seeker, I think he's mostly in good shape here. I'd like to get a little more attack percentage on a ring if I can get it to drop. We did manage to get a crit damage 6-star neck piece for him there. Now we just need to get a 5 or 6-star attack to drop with hopefully with some attack percentage on it, and kind of get him going there. Let's see, we haven't rolled his helmet up all the way yet because I just don't really see the need to at this point. And then kind of with him the same thing, we got to find a way to get some more crit damage into his build. And that's kind of why we're also building up that Great Hall, so we can get those crit damage and attack percentage numbers up. Because you can see, when we look at like Seeker, for example, he's at 3k attack, which for him is pretty good. His crit damage needs to be 100, but this works for now. And crit damage obviously is where we can make the most improvements with this team. Painkeeper, I'm really not sure what else I can get out of Painkeeper at this point, because I think we've pretty much got her, other than getting her into a 6-star chest piece. We do have the attack ring here. We've got the crit damage amulet, and then just an HP banner because it had the speed on it. So we do have a little bit of room there, maybe, with some of her regular gear. Trying to find, but you see here, actually what we do need with her is a crit chance, crit rate gloves. We have her in crit damage right now, so actually she's at 190, but we would like to see this more closer to 100. So you know, there's just so much stuff to still work on here. And then of course we go down to our speed lead. We are still using Mother Superior, who is pretty much maxed out, and she's in a pretty decent spot with 94. We did manage to get a crit damage neck piece on her as well, so that plus her 3k attack, she's starting to hit fairly hard. So that's kind of where we are with the gear. Like I said, still a lot of stuff we're looking for, still a lot of room to improve. And then I got kind of frustrated today because I think it was Deadwood Jedi put out the new video on the new double Maneater comp, where you only need like 217 and 219 speed on your Maneaters, which we can easily do here. And then you can just put any 3 DPS you want with them at like 170s. And it's, you know, he did a comp with barely like built out champions. It did like 50 million damage on Ultra Nightmare. And I'm like, wow, I wish I would have seen that like a month and a half ago, because we probably would have just done that and been a lot further along than we are now. But this is kind of fun. It's just something different with the speed lead, and we're going to keep at it. We're going to keep trying to see what we can do in terms of the numbers we can get out of it. Also, a couple screenshots up here. We were able to almost 1 key Nightmare finally. We got up, I think, at 38. I can't remember what the decimal was, but over 38 million. And I'm kind of doing consistent 30 to 31 million on Ultra Nightmare. So that's why I kind of really didn't do a video last week. We only went up about 1 million damage. We've been making a lot better progress since then. But you can see here on Ultra Nightmare, 3 keys today, 90.97 million. So we're pretty close. We're right around 31 almost consistently, and we need to be at 35 plus to get that 2 key. So that's kind of what we're still working on there. Now I think what we're going to do, we do have 1 key tonight, so I think I'm going to go ahead and run it on Nightmare because I am a little short. I'm at 37.44, and we need to be at 39.16 to get that ultimate chest. So we'll throw another run in on Nightmare. Plus it is the Spirit Affinity, which the cool thing about this team is, since you're running the double Maneater, you basically don't have to worry about affinity changes. You're never going to get, you're never going to get the stun or the debuffs or anything. You don't have to really worry about it. So, but with this team, we have Mother Superior kind of hits neutral against the Spirit, but Seeker really does a lot of damage against the Spirit boss. So it's kind of actually, this is the best boss for us to run. I've noticed we do more damage on this one than we do on the Void. So we're going to throw a key on that and see if maybe tonight, with the improvements to the Great Hall that we did today, which I haven't run a key yet on that, we'll see if we can get that, maybe get a 1 key out of that. Let's see what happens here. So let's go ahead and just get in and get our normal setup here. You guys know the drill at this point. So our first Maneater, obviously we're going to pop the Unkillable. We're going to do the A1 on Seeker. We're going to do the A3 on Painkeeper. A2 on our other Maneater. We're going to let Mom just hit hard here. You see there, she hits pretty hard now, 19k, and that's against even affinity, so that's not bad if we get those War Master procs. Alright, so Bateater gonna go A1. Do Secret pop his Tailwind. He'll get his attack in here. We're gonna go with the Spectacular Sweep, and then we are gonna hit auto and see what they can do here. We'll talk a little bit more before we get into the speed run and then come back at the end, but yeah, it's just been kind of frustrating the last couple weeks, not being able to really make as much progress as I wanted to. But again, that's kind of the reality of this. This is not something you're going to build in like 2 or 3 days and just be cruising along, you know, a 2-key and Ultra Nightmare. It's something that takes some time. It takes a little bit of work and takes some grind, obviously. But the one cool thing is the rewards have been pretty good. We've been getting at least 1 Sacred Shard a week on the Ultra Nightmare top chest. I've been getting quite a few Void Shards. Usually by doing Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, sometimes getting 2 Legendary books a day on those chest rewards. So it's been great just for the rewards, and then obviously being able to help the clan. We're getting pretty close as a clan overall to being able to almost do 2x Nightmare chests, so that's pretty exciting. It's going to be pretty cool. We've got some other people in the clan that are getting their Unkillables going, so it's a good time. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let this play through to the end. We'll see how well they do this week, and then we'll wrap up with some final thoughts. Alright guys, so there we have it, a 37.8 million key for the Spirit Affinity on Nightmare. Again, we're so close. 2 million damage away from that 1 key on Nightmare that we've been after for a couple weeks now. I mean, that's basically, you get this Maneater into a Toxic set, and he's going to be up about 7-8 million damage. That easily puts us in that 1 key range. And I even honestly think with Painkeeper, if we could get crit chance gloves on her and get her crit rate up to close to 100, I think that might do it too. So we're very close on Nightmare. But it's just, like I said, it's like everything else. It's RNG, it's frustrating. You know, you're watching, you go 3 or 4 turns in a row where you don't hit a War Master proc, and it's just like, you see Maneater slap for 50,000 damage, and then he doesn't get the War Master to go with it. And it's just, it's all up to RNG. You never know what you're going to get. But you did see Seeker here, like I said, on the Spirit. He hits really, really hard. Almost 12 million damage there, doing the bulk of the work. But we're close. We're almost there. It's getting closer. And, 2 million damage should not be a whole lot to pull out of this group. I think, like I said, just a couple gear replacements here and there, a couple of lucky rolls, and hopefully some better luck this week on the Spider and the Dragon Dungeon will put us there. But you can see, like I said, our clan's starting to do a lot better. We're almost to the point where we can clear Nightmare, and we've got a couple new Bear Cozy. You hear his music sometimes on this channel. He's actually just finished building his Unkillable team using Skull Crusher and Santa Claus, so pretty awesome. He's doing, right there at easy 2 key on the Nightmare so far. He just finished this week, I think, so he's doing really, really good with that, and Skull Crusher's only at level 50, so lots of potential with his team too, so it's pretty exciting seeing everybody starting to come around and starting to do well with this. And then, Nightmare, we're actually, we got a couple more people hitting Nightmare now or Ultra Nightmare, I'm sorry, now that we can, we're getting a couple more of these teams into our clan, so pretty cool times, guys. But anyways, that's going to do it, I think, for this week's episode. Like I said, now that the Astral Infusion is over with, I think I can hopefully have a chance to breathe and focus more on the clan boss this week. And again, we're going to try to focus on hitting this Great Hall, getting this Void crit damage, getting the crit damage built up basically on all these, and then also getting the attack percent built up there. Because you can see here, we've still got another 12%. And then another 15% on the crit damage that we can get out of here. So all of this will help. It'll be super helpful. And now that I've got a decent team going to farm the gold for, like I said, this last week and a half, I actually farmed up level 8 and level 9, which was about 1,700 metals. So we're at a point now where we're able to farm 300 metals plus a day. So I think we'll be able to make some good progress on getting these damage numbers up here in the Great Hall. So that will hopefully help us out a little bit more. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again next time.